What's the difference between the image quality of a phone versus that of a professional DSLR camera or mirrorless camera when they have the same megapixel rating? Pixels are like little electronic buckets that sit together on something called a sensor. So these electronic buckets are what collect the light or light photons that the camera hardware and software convert into the image that we all see. The biggest difference between a phone and a camera is sensor size. Smartphone sensors are tiny compared to those in DSLR cameras. A larger sensor can capture more light, leading to better quality, especially in low light conditions. Second, pixels. Larger sensors can also accommodate larger pixels, or photosites as they are called. In smartphones, the pixels on the sensor are much smaller. So smaller pixels capture less light and less detail, resulting in more noise and less dynamic range. Now, dynamic range represents the different shades that can be seen in an image from the darkest part to the brightest part. And so what you tend to see with images that are taken on a phone is that they are more contrasty, and this is because of that limited dynamic range. The third thing has to do with what we call optics. So a DSLR camera have larger and higher quality lenses that can gather more light and provide better control over things like depth of field. So depth of field just refers to how much of your background and foreground are in focus when you shoot. Smartphone lenses are much smaller and have limited capabilities. Now, smartphones rely heavily on what is called computational photography to enhance images, whilst DSLR cameras use superior image processors that produce more natural and detailed results. Computational photography can help and now produces some amazing results that in some cases seem to produce better images from the phone than some cameras. But in the end, it can't fully compensate for the physical limitations of the smaller sensors and lenses of good cameras. The other difference is versatility and control. With bigger cameras, there is greater control over settings like aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. So this allows photographers to fine-tune their shots. And smartphones are designed for convenience and often automate all these settings, so that limits your creative control. So while megapixels are important, they're not the whole story. In the comment section, let me know what you think about the advances that are being made in smartphone video and photography technology, and whether you think at some point we're not going to need all these big professional cameras.